So I'm quickly going to be breaking down the effects that you see in Brink of Sanity. This is the raw footage of Autumn falling. It's very bland. It's her laying down in this chair. We had the camera move up and down, and the light as well. Try to get some light change on it. That didn't really play much of an effect in the final product, though, so you can completely skip that if you're trying to recreate this. Anyway, so the first thing that I did was stabilize the footage. And then I made and animated a couple masks to mask her out, and these were like really, really rough because it all got covered up with motion blur, so, I mean, who cares? And then I used some Gaussian blur set to vertical to add some motion blur to it. Since she's only going to be falling that one direction, I don't really need to pay too much attention to it. I used some brightness and contrast to better match the other shot, and then I used the puppet pin tool to animate her a little bit more.
At the top of his head!
I searched far and wide to try to find an asset of, like, drywall from, like, the ceiling caving in, and I could not. But I found this one video of a bunch of dudes having some fun tearing down drywall that I ended up using. Fortunately, I was able to find the original video. I'll link that in the description in case you want to check it out. By looking at the screen recorded parts with the name of the video and the duration of the video, I was able to plug those into the YouTube filters, and I was able to find it that way. So I basically just masked around that, and then I made it a 3D layer and keyframed it to the ceiling because there's nothing for the 3D camera tracker to grab onto. It wouldn't work. If you're wondering what the mask is here, it's just separating the foreground of the drywall and the background so I can put Autumn and all the dust and crap in between it just to make it look much better. And of course I had to add a shadow, so I duplicated the comp with Autumn in it. I blurred it out, and I used a tint effect with both colors set to black, and then I keyframed the opacity and keyframed it to the floor to create a really nice shadow that way. So now we're going to move on to the dust. I found this asset online, and I freeze-framed it. I used some turbulent displace and blurred it out, and then I keyframed it to Autumn as she's falling to get some nice dust to trail her. Now, of course, when she hits the ground, that dust is going to spread out, so I have the opacity keyframed as well, and the shockwave asset puddling out with a mask in the middle, just cutting that out and getting that to work really nicely. In motion, everything looks great, but when you go frame by frame, it really looks pretty awful. Right here, you can see that the drywall that I used is just blatantly covering up some of the light, and it looks awful if you go frame by frame. And remember, I couldn't find any assets for the drywall, so what I did in this is I found a video of a person falling through the ceiling. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the original, but I basically took that, I masked around it, and then I color crushed it in a mobile app called Video Leap. You can go check that out if you want. And I just use that as an asset. I'll play that up on screen so you can screen record it and use it if you want to. And then I very quickly masked out her foot as she went behind the bed. And then I later time remapped the whole thing because I felt like it was a little off. I just slowed down the beginning a little bit and then sped up the end a little bit just to make it flow a little better. Anyway, so that was about it. Let me know in the comments if you want more breakdowns on Brink of Sanity. So yeah, peace.